about the signs of the second coming. I will not review them. And then we got today to how to prepare. Now I'm going to start with the Bible verse that you already read. A certain man had a fig tree planted, and he took care of the tree, and he came to find fruits. And there was no fruits. You remember the story? How many of you remember the story? The parable. And so he came again, and he put fertilizer, and he dug around the tree, and he put hay around the roots, and then he put horse manure. That's the best one, you know. And anyway, no fruits. And he watered the tree, and he did everything that you can do, gardeners. No fruits. Nice leaves, a bunch of them, no fruits. So the owner of the property came and says to the gardener, "What are you doing there? It takes space. Cut it off, put a different tree. I want fruits. I want to use that space. That's poor business what you do." And the gardener says, "I've been taking care of this tree for so long, since the tree was small. I love this tree. Give him another year. I will water the tree, I will fertilize the tree, I will bless the tree, I'm going to give him resources, I will protect him, I will empower him, I will do whatever it takes. Hopefully he will produce some fruits. If not, you can cut it off." And the owner said, "Okay, give him one more year, and if he doesn't make fruits, cut it off." You know who is he talking about, don't you? Who? Give him another year. That's called borrowed time. And we live in borrowed time. I'm going to give you an example. Last winter, we had a tough winter. That's my fig tree. Yes, I mean that. I worked with those trees for 3 years. And I got them big, and they used to produce fruits. Chandra, you remember the figs? They were nice. Many. Every day I would go and pick up a whole plate of figs from 6 fig trees. All 6 died. My wife blamed the number. She said, "You should have had 7, not 6. I said, "There is nothing to do with the number. It's the winter that was tough." Well, I talked to somebody from a nursery, and they said, "The trees are not dead. They are just in coma. The roots are still alive. Water them, fertilize them, take care of the soil around, and they will come back." So I did that. I started to dig the soil around dead coma trees and water the dead trees. Doesn't make any sense. I said, "I'm going to try one more year. If not, I'm going to cut them off." And water the dead trees and fertilize and put everything. And guess what happened? You'll be impressed. This is a real picture in front of my house. I mean it. What do you think? Can you see the figs? Huh? A bunch of it. In fact, this week I ate figs. I kind of picked up from every tree like a handful of them. I have 5, not 6. One never came back. But hey, 5 better than nothing. And I took pictures of all 5, and my wife said, "Too many pictures, cut it off. 1 is enough." Okay. So I took pictures of all 5 because I was so proud. And they all came back, and they are small, but they are packed. Everywhere with little figs. And some of them already turned dark, and they are soft, and I started to eat figs. And I'm so happy because they produce figs. And I said, "You know what? They seem to be dead, but they were only in coma. They were asleep, like the 10 virgins, you know." So I hope you get the picture. So let's go into our subject. Listen. God called his church to produce fruit. When God talks about the fig trees, God had not so much interest in the trees. He was talking about people. He was talking about his people, you and me. And God says, "Hey, I've been blessing you. You have all you need. You have all the resources in the world. I gave you everything. I didn't give it to you so you have a comfortable life. It's not about this life. I gave it to you for a reason." When God called Abraham not, "Hey, I call you so you will be rich and have a good life." God called him to be a blessing for all nations. Do you remember that? God called Abraham again to be what? God called Abraham to be what? you don't have courage to say it. To be a blessing for all nations. God didn't call you to have a good life. God called you to be a blessing. And He gave you resources that you pass them on and you bless others. Bless and you'll be blessed. Give and you'll be. Which one comes first? First I want to receive and then I can think if I give. Give and then you'll receive. A big measure. Basically, God gave us so much. And it seems to me, unfortunately, church, that the more we get, the more comfortable we become and the more we want. And the more isolated we become and we forget that God didn't give it to us for us. God gave it to us for them. You follow me? It seems to me that we keep forgetting that. And so, some people even say to me, I don't have enough, I am poor, I cannot give. Listen, don't wait to get more. Don't wait for a better chance. Don't wait to get trained. Don't wait until you get retired. Don't wait until the problems are solved. Work with whatever you have. As God told Moses, oh, I have only a stick. Go with a stick. Whatever you have. I don't care, poor or rich. Whatever you have. Remember the story I told you about Cuba? About the lady that had a $12 a month salary feeding 150 kids? She could have said, I have only $12 a month. But she would buy rice and feed 150 kids in her neighborhood. And she said, I got to use what God gave me. That's called faithfulness. Use what you have. You know, some people tell me, every time I serve, Satan attacks me. Yes! Don't you know that by now? Satan hates you when you work. But you are not called to fight Satan. This is nonsense to fight darkness. You don't turn off darkness. You turn on light. And darkness disappears. And when you turn off light, darkness comes in. So it tells me that when people have problems, they turned off light. We all do that every once in a while. You turn on light, darkness is out. You turn off light, darkness is back in. You follow me? Then you turn it back on, darkness is out. How do you turn it on? 24/7 connection with Jesus. When Jesus comes in, Satan moves out. They just don't live together. So, let me start the subject. In Luke chapter 13, Jesus talks about the fig tree, and this is about God's people today. We are living in borrowed time. Let me give you an example. When Israel got to the promised land, to Canaan, to Jordan, to the border, God said, this is the land. Go in, take it. It's yours. Did they go in? We build up, we get there. They didn't go in because they were not ready. It took them how long until they got back there? Well, yes, 40 years. The Bible says a whole generation perished. You remember? None of that generation entered in heaven except two. And the next generation came. It was one generation that had to perish because they were not ready. The spirit of prophecy says that in 1888, Jesus was ready to come and the church was not ready. Listen, folks, I'm going to go in details today. And as we go in details, we'll learn how to be ready. Because the time has passed long ago to bear fruits. God has been blessing, and it hurts to see that we are not ready and we don't bear any fruits. We are not ready for Jesus coming. If you would have to see the pain and to listen to the pain that God is listening and watching day and night, you would not wait any longer either. You would come if you are God. So, let's move into the subject. Matthew 10, Jesus says to the disciples, go first to whom? To the lost sheep of Israel. Who do you need to preach to first? How to get ready? Listen, folks, we will learn today how to get ready. Who do you need to go first to? Outside or inside? Okay, what to tell the church? Listen, Lexington Church, God wants me to tell you this. What? As you go to whom? To Israel, to God's people, to SDAs, preach saying, what? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Basically, what do you have to tell the church? Oh, start paying tithe, do evangelism, come to church, is that what you are supposed to tell them? No, that is good stuff, all of it. But you know what? The church needs to realize that Jesus is coming. That's what gets us ready. That's what you begin with. The heaven is at hand. It's coming. No more borrowed time. This is it. That's it. Jesus is coming. But listen carefully. If you keep reading, because in the original Bible there were no chapters, no verses. It was all no period, no comma, no nothing. Masoretes put that. In the original Bible there was no chapters, no verses, no comma, no. So listen carefully. You keep reading. Go to the lost sheep of Israel, to my people, to the SDAs, and tell them, don't go to the Gentiles, Jesus says. Go to the church and tell them, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And then, as you talk to them, as you preach, listen. Tell them, heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast demons. Oh, by the way, demons in the church because you go to the church. Demons in the church? Yes! There are demons in the church. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking what is in people. Anything, church, that to distract us from serving is demons keeping us busy. Did you hear what I said? One says, oh, I cannot come, Lord, because I just got married. Family can distract you. Oh, I cannot come, I just bought a property. Resources could distract you. Oh, I cannot come because I purchased, some oxen and I have to go and try them. Jobs, work can distract you. You agree? Whatever, good or bad, would distract you from serving, it's Satan sending his demons to keep you from serving. You heard what I said? So, back to the chapter. Jesus says, go first to Israel, preach saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, heal, cleanse, raise the dead, cast out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. What is supposed to tell the church? Hey church, Jesus is coming, therefore, listen carefully, go and serve. Do you follow? Do you see the verse? Jesus is coming. What should I do about? Oh, just wait. Are you supposed to just keep our eyes up and just do nothing and wait? Oh, Jesus is coming. I am waiting. That's what Jesus called us to do. Because he's coming, do the work. When you get an inspection, what do? You do the work, you prepare, you are ready. You follow me? Because Jesus is coming. Go and heal, go and serve, go and, you follow me? So, give and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. For with what measure you give, with that very measure will come back to you. Church, I want to say this. The world can see that something is happening. It is sad when the church is so busy with self that the church doesn't see that something is happening.